This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
And good morning on a Monday. Nick Saletti here with our top stories. Breaking overnight, a crash involving a DPS trooper near the Loop 202 westbound on-ramp. This is at 40th Street. DPS tells us a woman took off after they tried to pull her over, eventually going the wrong way down a side street and nearly colliding with another car. A DPS trooper ran the suspect's vehicle to end the chase. That trooper was taken to the hospital for some minor cuts and bruises. The suspect is in custody this morning. All right, now, Scottsdale police sergeant is recovering at home after getting shot over the weekend. That sergeant serving a warrant near 2nd Street in Roosevelt in downtown Phoenix when the shooting happened Friday night. But it was Saturday night that police were able to track down the suspect, which ended with officers opening fire on Kenneth Hearn. He later died at the hospital. Marking one of Arizona's darkest days, it has been 12 years since a shooter opened fire in Tucson, killing 6 people and injuring more than a dozen others. Former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords was among the victims. She shared on social media, 12 years ago, I was meeting with constituents at a local Safeway when everything changed. She then named every victim with their picture. Such a sad day. Our hearts, of course, are with the victims and their families. Over the weekend, President Joe Biden marking his first visit in office to address border issues there. Today, the president is in Mexico City, where he is going to take part in the North American Leaders Summit. The president expected to discuss immigration matters with the leaders of Mexico and Canada during that event. It's a concern that has both Republicans and Democrats calling for action. Here's John Lawrence.
President Joe Biden making his first trip to the southern border as commander-in-chief Sunday.
I think anybody in the Rio Grande Valley, Democrat or Republican, can't ignore that this is a crisis.
This comes as the administration wrestles with the constant influx of migrants, which is overwhelming federal and local resources.
We are dealing within a broken immigration system that Congress has failed to repair for decades, and there is unanimity with respect to that reality.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott met with the president in El Paso Sunday, handing Biden a letter with 5 actions he wants Biden to take to address the situation, including the resumption of construction on the Lone Star State's border wall.
I told him how thousands of Texans have lost their lives, that tens of thousands of Texans have had their lives destroyed by his open border policy.
Homeland Security officials say the number of migrants trying to get into the U.S. has gone from 2,500 a day in December to less than 700. But members of both parties say this is a problem that needs to be dealt with sooner rather than later.
I do think that the Biden administration is trying to tackle a tough issue in a way that is consistent with both the principle that America is a nation of immigrants, but also, of course, making sure there's a safe and a secure and a strong border.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
On the job for a week today, Governor Katie Hobbs will lay out her plan for Arizona during her first State of the State address. We know she plans to focus her term on education, affordable housing, immigration, and more. She's expected to take the podium at 2 this afternoon. Hobbs will make her first budget proposal at the end of the week. It's back to work for the Arizona legislature. Today is the first day of the term for the 56th legislature. Lawmakers will be sworn in at noon. Education, inflation, the water crisis, all expected to be big this session. For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, go to ABC15.com or just download our free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.